Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspective. So I love this girl. This girl, like one of my favorite peoples. The Karmic DF. Oh my God, do I love her. She is on Instagram, Facebook. Find her. Tell her I sent you. I love her. And she posts some really good shit a lot. So I follow her. She's one of the very few people I follow. And there's the question, why are you single? And then the response, well, not really interested in people who talk to 6 other people, bang 4, and use 2. And I went, use. To take without giving back. Users are rapists, thieves, and scarcity-minded hoarders. Uses are not gifting their vulnerability. They are only taking yours. Currency is vulnerability, money, laughter. Transaction. Tran, to transport. To transport an action. That is a transaction. I'm going to look it up now and see what the dictionary says about transaction. Buying or selling something. Wow, that's so sloppy. All right, let's try something a little different. Oh, it's not really different for me, but let's go ahead and do it. Etymology. To drive through. Let's look up the word tran. Tear, tron, train. Okay, let's tran, it's a prefix. Across. Trans means trains across on the far side, beyond. Action. To do. I want to say it means to move beyond with an action. Let's look at transport. Across, carry. Portare is carry. To carry across. To act, not action. Not carry. To carry away into banishment is what transport means. That's archaic, which means 1600s. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. I forgot that about me. I forgot that about me. Oh, when I studied history, I was studying like 10,000 years ago, 600,000 years ago. And people were like, why don't you ever study American history? What history? It's 200 years old. What history? Well, it's got this massive, and they would go on trying to elaborate how grand American history is. And I went, yeah, I study thousands of years. So the American history is like a drop in the fucking bucket. 1776 to the prior, there's no history. It's a baby. It's like sucking its thumb at the moment. It's ridiculous. Whereas I can go into Ireland and 10,000 years ago. I can go into Greece and 10,000 years ago. Anywhere in the world. And there's like massive amounts of history. Here, it's like, you mean history of the native people? I've done that. That's interesting to me. I have done that. I've also done history of Norwegian native people, history of Australian native people, history of Polynesian native people. I have studied as many native peoples as I could. I love studying native people. Love, love, love studying native people. But American history, oh, that's only 200 years old, and that's boring because really, and it's just a repeat of Rome. Like, so boring. So yeah, I don't do American history because it's ridiculously, there's nothing there. So I forgot that about me. So here I see the word archaic, and my brain immediately went to, oh, so like 2000 BC. And I look and it's 1660s. And I'm going, that's cute. Like 500 years ago, that's cute. Okay, guys, you need to re-look up the word archaic because that's not archaic. That's like going, oh, late antiquity, when 200 years ago. What the fuck is that shit? No. Come on, people. No, that's not it. So trans, I want to say, all right, let's just look up the word train. My train etymology. Trahere, to pull, to draw. Late Middle English from Old French. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna, tren. Let's try that, tren. Tran, verb, chanach, educate. Proverbs 22:6. Now we're getting somewhere with adjective chanich. Genesis 14:40. In 1 Kings 10:2, the Queen of Sheba's train. The noun is shalil. Shail, I cannot pronounce that. Chail, maybe. The usual word for force. Force. Now we're getting somewhere. See, you have to go back to the beginning of the word, where the word came from and why it was used. That's where truth is. To force an action. Train, verb, chanach, educate. To educate. Wow, that's powerful. To educate. Tran. Fascinating. Chanach. To educate. Wow. Go ahead and plug that in over here. Chanach. Hanukkah. Well, that's interesting. Hanukkah, 8-day Jewish holiday. I know what that is. But Chanuk is not Hanukkah. That's different. Interesting. Oh, this is going to be a rabbit hole. All right, I'm going to walk away from this rabbit hole because that can go on forever. But I really love that it's from the verb to educate. Transaction. See, tran, for me, I'm thinking to move or to pass an action. So you have a transaction. And in the case of a transaction, you have the gift, an offering. And then gift, offering. You have the receiver to receive the gift. Now you can offer a physical gift, a service, or a story. words. Physical object, a service, which would be an action. Action, object, words. And it would go to an audience. Is a receiver. You're not clients. You're receivers. You're an audience. An audience receives. Oh, that changes everything, doesn't it? An audience can choose. You can choose to buy your tickets to my show. You have requested the Queen's audience. The Queen will give you audience. So the gifter from gifter to audience to requester. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the word quest in that. You can request an audience. So you are a receiver. You request to give. Request to give. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out because this is network. This is how resources move. Resources move in a network. I need weed. That'll really heighten my brain, and then I'll really I'll figure this out. So how resources move in a network. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, a resource can be a connection, can be money, can be a service, an action, story, physical. This is sloppy. I need to tighten this up because I can already feel like this is not logical. I got to find the logic. Oh, I'm going to figure this out. So you have a receiver who's the audience. All right, let's play around with the arena. Let's play around with the arena. Let's assume for a minute, look at that, I'm moving into authorship. Let's assume for a minute that you have a stage. The stage. And you have the audience. And you have a summons. I believe a summons is part of this. Now, the stage can be court. The stage can be theater. The stage can be an arena. It can be a dojo. It can be a duel. It can be a challenge. It can be whatever. We're going to play around with that in a minute. For me, it's going to be a stage. Now, I decide to take the stage. And in that moment, I wish to give my story to an audience. So I want to give my story to an audience. You could want to give a message. Oh, nope. See, message goes to story. I want to give a message to a listener, or I can give my time to a lover, or I can give my attention to a stranger. So I can take on the role of giver. But in order to pull this off, I need someone in the role of audience. So I use a summons, which is a call to action. Hear ye, hear ye. That is an announcement. So I announce, I am a giver of story. I require an audience. There, that's it. That is the transaction. This is a proposal. Now, what if I am an audience who requires to be a taker? What if you wish to be a taker? What if we reverse this role? What if you are an audience and you wish to take the story? I desire story. This is about the laws of consent. This is what this is. Laws of consensual transaction. Consensual transaction. These are the laws of consensual transactions. Now, I want to be not a taker. Let's call them a receiver. I want to receive. So I want to receive a story from a giver, from an actor. There you go. I want to receive a message from a courier. From. Look at that. The word from is changing. So it goes from to from. I want to receive story from an actor. I want to receive a message from a courier. I want to receive food from a farmer. I'm going to figure this out. I want to receive time from a lover. There we go. Now, you have to be either the giver or the receiver. Neither one can force the other. It must be a proposal or a summons. So the giver announces, I want to give to you story. I want to give to you. The receiver says, I want to receive from, I want story from, I want X from. I want X from a you. I want to give. Like, I can't get around that. I want to give. I want X. That's the receiving. I want X. I want to give. Isn't that interesting? I want to give X to you. What do I get out of it? There's your woofum. What do I get out of it? So with a giver, I want to give you a story because I love to entertain you. I want to give you message because I love to learn how to teach you. I want to give you time because I value you. It is the exchange of value. It's when I value you. But the receiver I want blank from you is when you values I's resources. The you values resources. Isn't that interesting? So as the giver, you value you. But as a receiver, you value the resources. There's the problem. There's the problem. If it's mutual consent, it's mutual consent. If it's mutual consent, then the exchange is gift for gift. For instance, I love giving my partner my stories, and he loves to receive my stories. He's giving me his audience. I am giving him my story. Mutual consent. But a receiver comes to me and says, I want your resources. Now, this is not giving. We have now entered into taking. Now, let's assume for a moment that I have the ability to turn this situation into a gift. This is very much putting the cart before the horse, and I can see what it is. Mutual consent, when it's not mutual consent. So let's say I have an audience who comes to me and they say, I want your audience. Well, what a coincidence. I want to give you my audience. But it's a mutual consent there. Why would you trade money for that? Why would you trade money for that? If I were to stand on stage and present to you my story, and you were to take my story and give me audience, we are both receiving an equal amount of exchange. I have the luxury and the pleasure of giving to you, and you have the luxury and pleasure of receiving. So why are you now giving me money? That means that that I am doubly taking while you are singly taking. See how that's not logical? So you have literally a positive exchanged for a positive. But in addition to this gift exchange, you also have to give me money. So now it's too positive for me, and now I owe you. See, the math isn't adding up. Unless I don't want to take your audience. There it is. You cannot work for joy and for money. You can't do it because now you are taking a surplus. It's not a fair exchange, not at all. If you don't enjoy your work, it's not a fair exchange. So let's assume for a minute that the queen summons you and says, I want to receive your stage. I want to receive, says the queen to the jester, I want to receive your story. The jester has the right to refuse the queen's request. So there is definitely, this is the stage of the steps of transaction. There is the summons, the exchange proposed of the negative and the positive energy, the giver to the you, and then there's the taker. And that is the takes story from X. I can't, I can't figure this out. I think this is because it's just unlocked in the next stage and I'm just not there yet. And I keep trying to figure it out and it's just not there. And it's literally an exchange of positive and negative energy. And I'm just going, how does the transactions of resources work within a network? There is the I, the you, and the they. And right now it just feels fundamentally wrong. And I'm in the repetition stage and I want to do my own authorship. And I haven't observed enough. I haven't repeated enough yet to actually be able to author it. So I'm not able to figure this out yet. And it's driving me insane because I feel like it's like, come on. The laws of consensual transactions. From the giver to the role. From the role to the role. I'm tired. All right, I'm going to shut this down. See, for me, I see people standing there as solid. There's no connection. Connection occurs when the transaction is complete. And I'm sitting here looking at it going, I've got this current and I've got this current. How do I polarize them? Does that make sense to anybody? Because it doesn't make sense to me, but how do I polarize them? There, that's what I'm going to say. How do I polarize two energies? All right, let me look up polarizing. How do I polarize two energies? And that's what I'm trying to figure out is how do I polarize two energies? What does polarize mean? To cause something to require polarity. The relative orientation of poles. Okay, so we're all poles. I get that. There were poles. I can see the poles. That's just it. So this is my problem. I can see the three molecules, and I can see how each one of us are poles. Okay? But I can't figure out how to connect the poles. We're polar. The relative orientation of poles, the direction of a magnetic or electrical field. So what I'm trying to do right now is literally connect each pole to each other. How do we do it? And polarity, polarize, restrict the vibrations to one direction. Polarity, to restrict the vibration, to restrict. Does that mean to limit? It bothers me. To restrict the vibrations? What does restrict mean? Restrict. Yeah, to limit, to deprive, to confine. Oh, to condense. To condense. to condense. All right, when I meditate and I ground myself, God, that fucking word, ground, we are talking about tapping into a tap. I know what a tap is. Tap into and become part. Okay, so there was that day I turned on the light and there was no panel on it. And I touched it. Contact was made. Contact was made. And the current immediately passed into my finger, up my arm, hit my elbow, and then released. Oh my God, it was so fucking painful. But focus. I made contact. And I became my elbow became the ground because I tapped into the energy circuit. What the fuck is a circuit? Okay, so there was an energy circuit. There's a circuit. Okay, so the circuit is there and I'm here. And I am an empty pole. And I've got my pole partner and my pole OU. And we got to connect. And then we've got to tap into so we can participate and become part of the circuit. We have to become part of the circuit. And that's the connection that we're all trying to get into. And we're going, how do we do it? And I'm going, I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure this out. So grounding, tap into it because we can't see it. This is energy. This is pure energy. This is emotions. Emotions is pure energy. Emotion. It is an emotional connection, not an intellectual one. It is not, intellect does not produce energy. There is no energy at all in intellect. Intellect is for understanding. Logic is for understanding. That is not connection. That is comprehension. So the logic and the understanding is the intellect. And that is emotionless. Like there's nothing there. I can feel that. There's no sentience. There's no consciousness in logic. It's because it's not emotional. The emotion is where the consciousness is. And the consciousness is there because the consciousness has energy. Energy is consciousness. Energy is friction of molecules. Trust myself. I know I don't know anything about physics. I know I don't know anything about science, but it feels right and it feels good. Just follow it. Energy is the friction of molecules. It's when they rub together. It's almost as if you could say that emotions are molecular friction. Emotions, molecular friction that are produced by our hormones. Because when I am alone, there's no activity going on with my cognitive core. And when I interact with my partner, oh, there's a whole lot of feelings happening. Because we are creating an emotional cocktail coming together. But I can feel him there. Empath, I can feel his energy there. How do I tap into it? See, it keeps coming down to sex. Keep thinking that sex is how you tap into it. can feel it in a room when I'm in one of those groups. I can feel it all just vibrating around me. I can feel it. I just stand in the middle of a sex room and I just take in all of that energy and it just pours through me. Wave after wave after wave. All right. Let's span out. Go bigger. There you go. Thank you, girl. You're so fucking helpful. I love you. All right, let's go bigger. Go bigger. If emotions are energy, and the energy pool is just the exchange. You would have to give an energy to get an energy. AC/DC. Alternating current and direct current. What does alternating mean? Alternating. Sounds like it's passing through something, or it changes in both direction. Alternating current is a type of electrical current in which the correct direction of the flow of electrons switches back and forth to regular intervals or cycles. Current flowing in power lines. So it hops, whereas direct just goes straight through. And I also see alternating current, pulsating current, and variable current. Did not know there were 4. This is driving me crazy. Direction of the current of the voltage is always constant. So it's constant versus inconstant. That's what it is. Direct means it's constant. Alternating current. I'm so tired. Electrical current. Oh, what's this? Amplitude? No. All right, let's go over to sound. Let's try sound. All right, let's use sound frequency. Waves. Pulses. You can see the frequency in the waves. We have an ear to receive the frequency of sound. We have eyes to receive the frequency of light. We have tongues to receive the frequency of flavor. We have nose to receive the frequency of smell. We have skin to receive the frequency of temperature. How do you receive an emotional frequency? How do you receive an emotional frequency? Words. Keep it simple. Come on, Anna. Simplify it. Words. Actions. Words. Actions. And I can give him my words, or I can receive. Giving and receiving is the conduit. That's where I got this mixed up. The words and the actions are not the conduit. The giving and the receiving, the taking and the being robbed is the conduit. The action is the conduit. The words or the object or the service, not the action, the service. The word, the object, or the service is the positive or the negative. Giving it creates a positive. Receiving it creates a positive. Taking it creates a negative. Being robbed creates the negative. But the words also are positive or negative. And the object is also a positive or a negative. A service is either positive or negative. So I give positive words. But there must be a receiver of the words. And the receiver must have a giver. But the taker it's giving. Giving is the conduit. It's giving. Giving is the conduit. Oh, and there's the rest of it. There's the rest of it. Now you see it. Now you see it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Finish it out, Anna. All right. So the words can be given to a receiver. The object can be received by the receiver. The object can be taken from the receiver. An object can be taken. Give, receive, take. There's there only three? Give, receive, take. Let's assume for a minute. See, taken from. But there's four. You can force the giving. See, it's consensual or non-consensual. And that's a big, big deal. This is a big part of it. So you can give words to a receiver. And it creates an emotion. You give an object to a receiver, and it creates an emotion. This is the creation of emotion. You're creating emotion. Oh my God, this is amazing. So, transactions in a network literally create emotion. Creates more negatives, positives. So you give words, the receiver takes the words. So you give words to the receiver, and the receiver has an emotion. which is why if an object is taken by an abuser, you're going to get another kind of emotion. The question is then, what kind of emotion do you want? Which means the emotion becomes the currency. Becomes the currency. Money really feels like an extra leg in all of this. This is gifting. So when you are in a gifting society, you don't need money. Money is not here. But gifting creates the emotional connection, which is the problem, is there's no connection happening with money. So you are seeking an emotional frequency. And to do that, you require words, objects of service to be given, received, taken to, by, or from a receiver. And that produces an emotional response. And that's how you get connection. That's the connection. The connection is from word to receiver, from gifter to receiver, to emotional response. So gifter takes one emotion, transfers it to a receiver, and they have the choice to accept, receive, and that produces a new emotional response. And there is your emotion. I drew a heart. And then the receiver can give, receive. I feel like there's another stage here. Enjoy. It's going to sound weird, but enjoy. So it's give, receive, enjoy. Wallow, bask in the sun. What are we doing here at this third stage? Gratitude. Gratitude connects us. Thankfulness connects us. Appreciation connects us. Holy fucking shit. I forgot the thank you part. Give, receive, thank you. Give, receive, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's the universal sign for gratitude. That's what clapping is. and the bowing. You're welcome. It's the closure. Give, receive, gratitude. You're welcome is the receiving of gratitude. That is the full cycle of transaction, which is why we say thank you and you're welcome at the end of every transaction. It is the closure of transaction. Give, receive, gratitude, you're welcome. But you watch my video and there's no thank you. So I don't feel connected to you. There it is. Oh, there it is. That is where it is. It's in the gratitude. I feel closest to my partner when I tell him I appreciate him and thank you. And he says, you're welcome. It's I give him my offering, my service, and he says to me, thank you. And I say, you're welcome. Give, receive, gratitude. You're welcome. So it's give, receive, give. You give gratitude. You have to give gratitude. And you receive gratitude. That is the connection. We're not completing the transaction. So you give, the receiver takes it and just walks away without saying anything. It's like you're standing on stage and you're performing and no one laughs. Or they all just stand up at the end and they walk away without clapping. Oh my God, that would be the death of all actors. A stage where the performance has ended and the people just get up and walk away quietly. I want to bow. Oh my God. But they don't. They applaud. They are saying thank you for the entertainment. And when I bow, I receive the gratitude. There is giving, receiving, the hug or the kiss, and then the you're welcome. There are 4 stages to completing a transaction. And you must complete all 4 stages in order to have connection. You know, I never thought about it. Every time I washed my partner's dishes, he rubbed my shoulders. I would say thank you, and he would say thank you. Wow. Thank you and you're welcome are the close of human connection. But we're skipping that part. The welcomer goes, yep. They don't even say you're welcome. Wow. I hear that one a lot too. Wow. Wow. Give, receive, and then gratitude. We aren't seeking the emotional response. We are seeking gratitude and appreciation. That is what connects us. Gratitude connects us. Appreciation is what connects us. That is what connects us. That's it right there. When people comment on my videos, it's the appreciation that makes me feel complete, makes me feel heard, makes me feel visible, makes me feel seen. How do you get your gratitude? How do you get your appreciation? What do you want to be appreciated for? What do you want to be appreciated for? I want people to appreciate my story. Oh my God, this is everything. What do you want to be appreciated for? That is the question to who you are. There was no appreciation in our jobs, is there? We're expected to do them. And giving us money on a paycheck, there's no thank you. There's no you're welcome. There's no appreciation. And that's why we hate our jobs. That's why we're not connected. Every time I go to a friend's house, the very next day I text them and say, thank you. Wow. Wow. We are seeking gratitude. We are seeking appreciation. That is extraordinary. What do you do to get appreciation? And that's literal. What do you do to get appreciation? How do you want to be appreciated? That is who you are. For me, I'm doing it. This is how I want to be appreciated. Not remembered, appreciated. Wow, this is amazing. I remember who I am when I do this. Look at all those eyes. Isn't that beautiful? I. Watch the way you talk. This is fun. And notice how often you try and avoid the word I because it sounds selfish. They embedded it deep. That's what you got to overcome. So we become a lot of you. You should do this. You should do that because they're projecting their inability to say I onto you. Yeah. Wow, we are seeking gratitude. Gratitude, appreciation is what connects us. I see. All right. I am looking for my network. My network. My network. My network. Oh, we're not done yet because my network literally is who I am looking to connect. And how do I connect? I connect through story. I connect through nerdoms, fandoms. Yeah, nerd-based fandoms. I connect through philosophy. I connect through innovation. I connect through visionaries. I connect through food. But it has to be gifting and sharing. Because only when you gift and share do you get thank you in exchange. Gift, share, exchange. When do you say thank you? When do you hear those words? Gift, share, exchange. How do you gift? I perform. I entertain. I teach. I amuse. How do I share? I share time. I share food. I share story. I share experience. How do I exchange? I exchange food. I exchange time. I exchange story. And the elements in which I exchange these things around are philosophy, innovations, vision, food, story, nerddom, adventures. Oh yeah, oh fuck yes, I have my adventures. How do you play? How do you play? How do you play? How do you play? So to connect, you take what you love to connect. In conclusion, to connect, you take what you love, your interests, your play, performance, story, and you gift, share, or exchange them with a loved one. That is how you connect. Now, here's the problem. It has to be a loved one. I know how to make a loved one. Ooh, see, I've already done that work. I did that work 5 years ago, 2 years ago. I've already got the data already done. This is what I was missing. Now I could just plug it in and go, there it is. Okay, so I'll go ahead and complete this. So back in the year 2020, I had a theory. I spoke to this man. He was polyamorous, but his fiance wanted him to be monogamous, and he wasn't sure. He said yes, and that monogamy would start at a certain point, but he was still trying to figure out if that was right for him or not. He expressed feelings of being pressured, of giving up a part of himself for her. He truly wanted to be poly, but he truly loved her. So he felt torn between his poly ethics and his love for a oneist. And I had my own agenda. He said, I would love to connect with you, text only, but he goes, I don't know, I'm trying to figure things out. And he expressed his situation to me. And he goes, I want to know if I can love another person. I said, well, I have a theory. To fall in love, you need to share vulnerability. That's it. And I said, now we can strategically go through this back and forth, sharing, taking turns, sharing vulnerabilities. And once it gets to a certain point, I can tell you, all right there, there's where the feelings are starting. Do you want to try it? He said, yes. So we did it 3 times. By the 3rd time, we were falling in love. It was literally this exchange: give, receive, thank you, you're welcome. But it was vulnerability we were giving, and we were doing it on purpose, strategically. We were giving past events. We were giving dreams. We were giving our deepest parts of ourselves that no one knew about. I must have shared with him every deep, intimate secret with me. I let him have it all, and he in turn let me have it all. This was done using reciprocity, and I watched it unfold on purpose, strategically planned, deliberate, so that it was forever in an exchange of I give him my vulnerability, he received it, acknowledged what fragility he held in his hands. I gave him my fragility. Oh, yes. I gave him my fragility. And he handled it very well. And he said, you're welcome. Rinse and repeat. And then he did it with me, where he gave me something vulnerable. Now, this is where I deliberately did something. I started off giving him level 1s, level 2s, and level 3 vulnerabilities. He gave me, in turn, level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s. By day 2, I gave him level 3s, level 4s, and level 5 vulnerability. And he reciprocated with level 4, level 3, and level 5. And on the 3rd day, I gave him level 5, 6, and 7. And right there, we started to fall in love. And I went, okay. And there it is. I'm having a lot of affection for you and a lot of love for you. And he went, yep, we're done. I never spoke to him again. I don't even remember his name. And I have been trying to figure out what exactly we did to have a connection that quickly ever since. It was the trust, the vulnerability, and it was the connections of transaction. It was the connection of transaction. Trust, vulnerability, and the connections that you get from transaction. Trust, vulnerability, connection of transaction. Trust, vulnerability, and the exchange, and the gift exchange. So trust, vulnerability, and the gift exchange. That gets you connection with a loved one. That is the formula on how we connect with each other. You need trust, you need vulnerability, and you need the complete 4-step transaction on gift exchange. When you get these 4 things combined, then you connect. Then you connect. Let me play this through. Oh, I trust my partner, and I am vulnerable with my partner. Oh, good God, am I? There is value. Oh, there is a lot of value. trust, vulnerability, value, and the gift exchange, the transaction. I can literally pinpoint right now to this whole diagram and go, that is what's wrong with my relationship. Right there. That's what's not happening. Done. Wow. All right. I got to process this. I got to process this. All right. So I'm building my network. And now I know exactly how. If you want to see if you're part of my network, and if you want to participate in this exact thing, take a look at the link below. See which part. Wow, boy, is this changing everything now. Holy shit. Wow. See which part of Authenticity City you would like to connect with me on. And we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Wow. Click on the link. Let me know what part resonates with you. That's the part of you that goes, this feels good, that feels right, and it gives me joy. Plug in. Let's do it. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.